Okay, class, so everything in this video is about area. And so again, make sure you memorize these and know these for the class and for the topics to become. So this is what I expect you to know. And so you're just going to have to know them, memorize them, okay? So quadrilaterals, again, so these are different area formulas. So make sure you know them. Some of them are same, some of them are different, okay? So again, square, rectangle, and parallelogram basically have the same formula, length times width, base times height, okay? So with a square, it's s squared. You take the one side and you square it. Why? Because a square is a rectangle that all the sides are the same. So the length times width is the same. So we get the square of a side. Okay, so we get s squared. The area of a rectangle, same, length times width. A parallelogram is base times height, which is the same thing as length times width, okay, of the parallelogram. So for example, here's a square, and you could call this the length and the width, where L is equal to W. So you just get the side squared, okay? And again, if it's a rectangle, then it's just length times width. Now, parallelogram, it's a little harder to see, but I'll show you that you get the exact same thing. So let's say this is a parallelogram. Well, to see that you get the same answer as base times height or length times width, look at this. Just pretend you can cut a right triangle off at the top here. So basically we're making this piece into a right triangle or a right angle, and this is going to be a right angle. And let's say we're cutting this piece off, and then we're going to slide it down here, and it's going to match up right here. Well, what happens? Well, this here is the base. And what happens is you're sliding this piece over here, and so what happens is it just slides down. And so what happens here is this is the height, right? And you're just sliding this piece here, sliding it down here. So you're not changing the area at all. You're just taking this piece, this triangle, and sliding it down here and sticking it there. So what you did was you transformed a parallelogram into a rectangle. The base doesn't change, right? The base length is still the same. Height is still the same. So basically, the area of a rectangle and the area of a parallelogram are the same. Okay? We just call it different by different names. Base times height versus length times width. Okay? So that's really all there is to that for that one. Now, a trapezoid is the sum of the bases. So 1/2 times the average, base times height here, but for a trapezoid, it's the average of the bases times the height. So there's the height. So here's a trapezoid, right? So what we do is for a trapezoid, it's the average of the two bases. So you basically add the bases, divide by 2, and then multiply by the height. And that'll give you the area of a trapezoid. So you're just going to have to know that one, okay? So these are the area formulas that we're going to be using in this course, or for this section at least, but it's going to be for this chapter. And then, it'll come up, I'm sure, later on. Okay. That's all she wrote.